Here we are back on the 12th of September 1963. We're in London at the Hotel President, just near Russell Square. And the hotel's still there. The Hotel President is where the Beatles stayed when they visited London, when they were still living in Liverpool, when they early years before they became very famous. They come down to London to record tracks for their second album, and they were staying overnight at the hotel. Parkinson arrived just as they were waking up quite late in the morning. They weren't very keen getting up early, and anyway, he's photographed them in their bedroom so they didn't have to go too far. And he had about an hour's session with them, trying out different backgrounds and so on. On the same day, he had a second sitting booked with them, and they were going to go to Abbey Road Studios to work with George Martin on some tracks for the second LP. And that same day, he had this second appointment where he photographed them recording tracks. And all the pictures that were taken that day were later put into a book, which was published in 1964 and has recently been republished. And what the idea behind the picture was, the Beatles were most famous for their haircuts. They were considered very long and wild hair that they had. So he wanted to focus on the famous haircuts, and he wanted to get them all the same height. And so what he was trying to do was imagine a shish kebab going through their heads to line them all up. And very interestingly, back in 1981, when I organised an exhibition, this negative was quite scratched and in poor condition, and we were approached by a printer who was very keen to have work with the Portrait Gallery, and we said the test will be, if you can do a good print from this negative, we might employ you. And miraculously, this very bad tattered neg, the printer Gene Nacon made a wonderful print, and it boosted his career a huge amount. And this picture was also used on the poster for the exhibition in 1981, and we have in the showcase just nearby how it was used on the cover of the book, both upside down and the right way up. Later on in 1981, we were taking some new commissions to go with the opening of the exhibition, and one of the commissions was to photograph the 4 political leaders of the Social Democrat Party. And Parkinson decided that he would photograph these 4 political leaders, all with their heads close together. And one of the leaders was Shirley Williams, who was very much shorter than everybody else, so we had to get a special box for her to stand on so her head would line up. So that was a very interesting post-taking footnote.